What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Olaplex YouTube channel. My name is Matt Beck. Today I have a fun video for you guys. We're gonna do some hair color, we're gonna do some balayage, and at the end of the video I have a special giveaway, so make sure you stay tuned until the very end. Also, if you have any questions about the video, post them in the comments below. Let's get started. So we're going to start off by mixing our lightener. Our lightener choice today is Paul Mitchell Blonde Skylight Hand Painting Clay Lightener. I'm going to use a full rounded scoop of that. And then I'm going to add in 1.5 ounces of 40 volume cream developer. The great thing about Olaplex is that you can use it in any lightener that you want. So whatever your choice is, whatever you're using in your salon, you can use it in that. Now I'm going to mix the lightener thoroughly. And then because this is a balayage lightener, I'm going to use a 1/16 of an ounce of Olaplex to mix in there. That will allow me to have just as much lift as if I didn't have Olaplex in the formula, but I get that added protection, those extra bonds to keep the hair nice and healthy. So the sectioning for this technique is very simple. What we're going for is a very natural highlight. So naturally what I'm going to do is start in the very back, and we're going to work diagonal forward partings up the head shape. And what I'm going to do is start by painting our clay lightener lower, almost mid-shaft to ends at the very beginning. And then as I work my way up the head shape, we'll get closer and closer to the scalp. What that's going to do is give me that depth underneath that you would naturally have, because if you think about it, if the hair is laying flat, the sun hits the top portion that overlays the head shape. The underneath doesn't get as light. And that's what we really want to create, is that natural blonde look overall. So as you can see, I'm just painting mid-shaft to ends as I work my way up the head shape, painting a little bit further, about 1/2 inch further each time, but just continuing to stay consistent throughout that. Couple key things with balayage that I like to do is just make sure that you have your section as you take it down very nicely combed out. So you'll see that I'm using a comb. I'm using a wider tooth comb because I like to give a little bit of separation to the hair, but also I just want to make sure that my section is completely detangled and clean, because that's where you will get the most smooth transition with your painting. Also notice that as I work up the head shape here, and once I'm kind of behind the ear, what I'm going to be doing is painting a little bit higher towards the outer perimeter of the head shape, and then towards the interior, I go a little bit lower. The reason for that is, if you think about it, if somebody's wearing their hair in a ponytail, those outer edges are going to be a little bit brighter than the interior part of the hair as well, where that ponytail kind of gathers together. So I go a little bit higher at that point, add a little bit of depth into the middle. Another good tip for balayage is really to make sure that the saturation is there, because I think where people make a big mistake is they paint it on very light because they're afraid that they're going to end up with bleed marks. But the reason you get those kind of bleed marks or the shattered look to it is because you're not painting it on heavy enough. The way that a balayage lightener works and where you're going to get the most lift and the most benefits with your lightener is to make sure that you're fully saturating it. That helps incubate the hair and coat the hair to give it the most lift. So if you think about what a foil does, if you foil the hair, you're incubating it and you're covering the lightener, or you're covering the hair and the lightener. With balayage lightener, you're covering the hair with just the lightener. There is no foil, so you need to make sure you have that full saturation. Again, take a look at how far I'm painting that lightener up. Just as I'm getting to the front of the head, I get closer and closer. And now, the other thing that I want you to notice is how far I'm painting up in the crown, because naturally, your hair is really going to get a pop of brightness right at the very front crown area, so I make sure that I really paint that on nice and heavy as well. Still leaving a little bit of depth in that inner portion of that section, because of the fact that that would really be sitting underneath everything naturally. So the other thing I want you guys to pay attention to is how I'm over directing the hair back. And the reason I'm doing that is I really want to open up that section. If I pulled everything down vertically, I could really only paint on top of the hair. So what I want to do is open up that section just like if she was wearing it in a ponytail, so that I can paint that outer perimeter again, brighten that up, and then also that apex part of the head, the high point of the head, and leave that depth right in the middle there. Again, keeping it very natural looking. So the last little bit, this is right around the front of her face. What I'm going to do is break that into 2 sections. You could paint it, but I like having a little more control right there. So this is kind of like the most important part of highlighting somebody because it's what people are going to see. So I want to brighten it up around the face. I want to go as close to the front of the hairline as possible, and I really want to paint that nice and bright. Same thing on this very top portion. This is coming right off of her parting, so I really want to brighten that piece up right around the face. So getting heavy saturation on there just so it gives me the most brightness right at that point. So now I'm going to speed it up because this is the same concept on this side. The only difference between this side and the opposite side is this is the heavy side. So this is where all of her hair is parted to. So she parts it on the left, it falls heavy on the right. So I'm just painting the same exact way, working that saturation through the ends and then lightly painting it up towards the scalp. Notice how light it is towards the end, that mid shaft area. You can almost see the hair through it. That means it's not going to get super bright. But then at the ends, I'm really layering that clay lightener on to brighten it up. Now remember, we put Olaplex in our formula. So as the hair is lightening, Olaplex is a bond multiplier. There's a breakdown of bonds when you lighten hair, color hair, chemically process hair in any way. So Olaplex goes in there. It allows it to multiply the bonds so there's not as many bonds that get broken in the process. Keeps the hair much healthier than it ever was when we used to process hair before. The other great thing about that is it's such a beneficial thing to your clients in the salon, and it's a great little upgrade for your average ticket. So if you look at why Olaplex is so successful in my salon, is it's bringing value to every guest. So not only is it a great service that you can add, but the guest actually sees the difference in their hair, not only when they leave, but weeks down the road and as we keep lightening their hair. So it's a process that they can get. It's something you can add to every color you do. You can also do different treatments. So we're going to create video content on that as well. But it's such an awesome upgraded product in the salon, but your clients actually see the difference, and that's what makes it so unique compared to a lot of products out there on the market. So definitely, if you haven't tried Olaplex, get the stylist kit. Also, hit that subscribe button because that will allow you to possibly win a stylist kit. But definitely check out Olaplex because it's an awesome upgrade to the services that you're already doing in the salon and the guests that you already have. So people talk about they want to make more money. The way that you make more money is taking care of the current guests that you have and adding things like Olaplex to your services. So check out how bright we painted and how much saturation we had in the very front, and then look how we tapered it off in the back, creating that depth. Now we're going to move into Olaplex Step 2. This is the second step of the service. So what you're going to do is you're going to rinse the lightener. I think where a lot of people get confused with Olaplex is they'll rinse out, shampoo, then apply Olaplex Step 2 like it's conditioner. This is you just rinse the color out, you apply Step 2, you let that sit for 5 to 10 minutes on the hair, and then what you're going to do is then you'll rinse it out, you'll shampoo, condition, and so on and so forth. So make sure that you do the steps correctly to get the best result. So just finishing up, a little bit of shampoo, then we're going to go in and condition, and then we're going to rinse. So now we're going to go into the haircut. And this is one of my favorite things to do for haircutting as well. And I know you guys weren't expecting a haircut, so here's a little bonus. This is a very quick face frame haircut. Doesn't really take off a lot of length, but creates a lot of movement and volume in the front. So we're going to work diagonal forward partings. What I did was I applied Olaplex Step 2, just a tiny dime size amount to the hair to use as a cutting lotion. So just adding in more of those bonds, allowing that to sit in the hair as I do the haircut, just working through. So I'm over directing everything to me on the opposite side. I'm also not working with a ton of elevation because I want to build up some weight in the very front of the hair. So diagonal forward parting, bring it over to the opposite side of the chair and just cutting and slide cutting with my scissors through there, creating that volume and the layering and the face frame. So finishing up last section, just keep bringing hair over until you run out. Now I'm going to take down the weaker side, the smaller side, take a piece from my guideline out of the front, and then over direct that part over to me as well. Just connecting those 2 points. So some of you might be thinking, well, when do you cut the base part or the ends of the hair? I'll do that at the very end. So I go through, clean up the haircut, get the hair nice and healthy, and then there is our end result. You can see that face frame, see the pop of highlights, see the depth through the middle. There's our end result. Hope you guys like it. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions. All right, guys, so I hope you liked the video. If you did like the video, then hit like below. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel because that's how you could win one of these Olaplex Stylist kits. So hit that subscribe button. Also, if you like the video, then make sure you share it with your friends. We're gonna be creating content like this weekly, so hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks.